Hello there, everyone. You know who I am, E.T. Templar, Alien Crusader from Beyond the Heavens, here to entertain and destroy through the power of me magic. So there's this trend with internet personalities where they'll use information that they've acquired from Kiwi farms, and they will use this information to go real world. They'll try and contact people, try and get people fired, try and get people kicked out of colleges, and see, that's okay for them to do it when they do it, because technically it's not them doxing anybody, it's just them using information or public information. Now, when this same process that they've used against other content creators comes back on them, then that's when the threats come out. And they're not particularly good threats either, and basically, let's just cut to the meat of the topic, shall we? And away we go.
Who do you think I am? Let me tell you something else.
Here we go.
Zona. I told you I have a lot of family in Israel, right? I told you that. I told you. Now, as it happens, I have a lot of cousins in Israel. A lot. My cousins love me. A lot. We don't see each other very often, but they...
That would imply otherwise, because if you truly loved and cherished your family, you'd be with them, you'd mention them, so clearly that's kind of a fabrication, but let's keep going.
love me a lot. Now, it just so happens that my ex-husband served in the IDF. My cousins all served in the IDF.
Before anyone gets all excited and like, ooh, about this, there's one fact that needs to be mentioned about this, and it's this. National military service is mandatory for all Israeli citizens over the age of 18, unless if you're Arab. Citizens are exempted if they so please, and other exceptions may be made on religious, physical, or psychological grounds. So when she says she has family in the Israeli IDF, yeah, that's because it's mandatory. And that's because it's basically conscripted service. See, Germany used to do the same thing. So when she says she has, like, family in the IDF, it wasn't out of, like, greater service to country. They were doing it because it was fucking mandatory. Now, again, that takes a lot of courage to do so. I'm not shaming anyone for being drafted, but I just figured that should be mentioned. But she's trying to twist it, and later in this video, she'll twist it into this quite fantastical tale, which could very well be true, but I think it's crap, and we'll get into that while we'll cross that bridge here.
I have cousins who served in the IDF in units that were so secret that not even their own families to this day know what they did.
I have family members in the Navy SEALs, and he has 142 confirmed kills, routine. See, if this was true, you wouldn't mention this. Because if it was true, you wouldn't want to expose and put at risk these soldiers and clandestine operatives. So she's implying that her family members are in the IDF, could very well be, could still be, and she's implying that they're probably in Shayat 13, which, if you don't know, is like Israeli Navy SEALs. There's also the Mossad implies, the Mossad hires from, the IDF for wet works, So this threat she's insinuating, or trying to get through to the point that, her cousins are so hardcore that, she's going to send them out to allegedly threaten, harass, and or wet work some people over internet drama. Because that would be legal for a clandestine operative to be involved over. Yeah, doubt it. And if you're just now expressing that on an open platform, you've now outed these people as secret operatives. That's how you know it's crap. Because anyone who has family members in situations like that, they wouldn't be like, I have family in Spec Ops. You wouldn't do that unless, of course, it's bullshit.
In the IDF. But I have one or two cousins who speak English suspiciously well, with an amazing American accent. They'd never been in the United States, but they spoke like
Bullshit. Because, again, if you're implying that they're Shayat 13 or Mossad, they've been in the United States. Just saying.
An American native. Now, if you're an Israeli, you know what that means. You know that they were in a special unit where people with exceptional skills are chosen.
Why not name the unit? So this is an ignorant person. If me, a Goyim, see, the only reason why I know about Shayat 13 and Mossad, because they've done some pretty crazy shit throughout their own short history. Pretty impressive stuff, regardless of your opinion on Israel, the IDF, or the Mossad. That's how I know about it, as me being as ignorant as I am. But this, I don't know if she's kind of riding the line between bullshit and truth. She's admitting that, yeah, she has family in the IDF because it was mandatory, but she's just tacking on this extra little angle that she's alleging that they're Mossad or Shayat 13 to kind of scare whoever this is she's trying to intimidate. But in reality, I'm pretty sure it's a falsity.
To go native, fluent, Arabic, Russian, English, all that, they can pass as natives. And in order to get into those units, they have to have certain, I don't want to say a particular set of skills, because that sounds a little bit menacing. They have to...
Well, why would you mention that they go native? So, this is a threat. This is the weakest threat. This is the weakest scare tactic I've ever seen on the internet. At least when people bullshit and make threats, like the Navy SEAL one, right? At least they're creating this fictitious, interesting story about it. You know, they're twisting it into so outlandish thing to try and get that effect. Whereas this is just sad. Why would you make this effort to try and scare someone and not even go full bore?
To be exceptionally intelligent, they have to have an...
No shit, because again, like the CIA equivalent, if someone's going to be a CIA operative, they're not going to recruit a bunch of Luddites and dipshits. That's duh. The Mossad's the same way.
Exceptional Yiddishkopf. All right? And maybe a couple of those cousins happen to work in high tech.
Oh, so you really think the cousins, your family, as, you know, blood is thicker than water as it may be, are going to put at risk their military careers, their clandestine careers, or their career in big tech just because someone's using information that's, again, by your standards, public information, and that's information gathered from Kiwi farms against you? All of a sudden now it's haram and bad. See, that's the whole point to this issue, is that she's used this against Peanut. Her and Eggs have used this allegedly against other people. Kiwi Farms is their go-to intelligence agency. And of course, again, these same people, when it's just fascinating how they can use Kiwi Farms against other people and release sensitive information. But as soon as that additional information about them gets out there and used against them, all of a sudden, we're going to send night raiders to your house, like Shayat 13, you're going to be like Osama bin Laden. Or oh, you better check under your chair because they might have put a pressure charge, like a C4 under it, or your bed or whatever. So that's, I mean, again, if you're going to make threats to try and intimidate someone, like, I don't know, this is just confusing.
After all, Israel is very famous for its amazing high-tech corridor and high-tech capabilities. What do you think those high-tech capabilities are used for in Israel, honey? I'm sure you know. You're going to threaten me? My cousins would like to have a word with you. It's not a threat.
Yes, it is, because you're vaguely hinting that they have a particular set of skills, that they're in secret groups, and that you're alleging that they're in Mossad or Shayat 13, you know, the kind of people who actually engage in Wetworks. Again, for those of you, here's the ley line. Wetworks is the skill set that requires assassinations and killing people. And that would be that form. What she's describing here would be Shayat 13, Mossad, or like independent, like contract killers for intelligence agencies. But again, I'm just talking around and beating around the bush here.
Nobody's going to pull up. Nobody is going to attack you. Nobody is going to go to your employer. Nobody.
Then why mention this, like, specifically? if you didn't intend this to be, oh man, interesting.
Is going to threaten you, but they would like to have a word with you. And I have a lot of cousins, and they love me. So before you start throwing around threats about suing me,
Oh, so if someone's going to send out threats, just have a word with you? That kind of people in that kind of professional career, the talking usually involves, historically speaking, a .22 caliber bullet to the back of the head. I mean, at least from around the 50s to the 70s. Now they might use more advanced methods, but these people don't talk to you. So the fact that she's trying to hand wave away, they just want to talk to you. No, the people you're describing are the kind of wet works operatives that the CIA employ and others. But just for shits and giggles, right? This is how I would threaten someone. Okay, are you ready? And of course, what you're about to hear is 90%, 99% absolute horse shit. So this is just for fun. If you're gonna threaten someone, this is how you do it. So, I've seen you've been talking shit. You've been trying to contact various family members and peoples, I belong to a group where we have 6 million brothers, roundabouts. That's across the globe. 6 million. Some of them in powerful places. Some of them in the Fraternal Order of Police. Some of them in intelligence agencies. Some of them in the Vatican. Now, of course, I'm not making any threats or anything, but if you don't think that my brothers won't William Morgan your ass, think again, because there's oaths of secrecy here, and the only thing I need to do is say a few passwords, shake some hands, and your ass is grass. So I mean, it's up to you. I mean, you want to fuck around and find out, you certainly can. But I mean, just keep in mind, I got 6 million brothers, and that's not counting Order of the Eastern Star, Knights Templar, and all the other offshoot groups and organizations. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, there's freedom of speech. You can say what you want and talk shit. But I mean, you're gonna get hit. That's not a threat. They just want to talk to you. And William Morgan your ass. But they just want to talk to you. But anyways, that was all bullshit. Okay. I wasn't aimed at anyone. That was just as an example, right? And it's just funny how this intimidation tactic is just done in a legal way that it's not a threat. So anyone who covers it, or anyone who says, that's kind of shady, that's kind of cringe, you're threatening to unleash your, ex-IDF family members on someone over bants and information on Kiwi farms, again, by your own reasoning and logic, that is public information that you didn't dox them because someone else did, is just hypocritically rich. It's so rich. I'm losing feeling in my feet. I think the hypocrisy and the irony here is literally giving me diabetes, and that's just not my shitty eating habits. But there we go. And they just want to talk to you. It's just I don't know. That kind of stream and content, you're opening yourself up for not only ridicule, but I mean, if someone sees that, they could intentionally false flag it as a threat. Not, again, to pull DC media going, I'm not saying anyone should, or that anyone should do this or that. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. But, I mean, you're opening yourself up there. And, again, how I know this is all bullcrap, because someone who has these if someone was to have these connections and sensitive, knowledge, they wouldn't be admitting it on fucking YouTube. it just wouldn't be a thing. It's again, it's that time treasured meme, where the guy mentions that his uncle was a Navy SEAL. He's got like 143 confirmed kills. He's a sniper. He fought with Peshmerga and the Kurds. Everyone's seen that meme, and it's just this is funny seeing this, and like someone like actually do a stream with this kind of like intimidation tactic, and that's what it is. Because why else would you specifically mention this bullshit information and this bullshit story? Like, just to intimidate someone over bants and, like, e-drama, it's just too far. It's a bit much, if you ask me. And, like, we've all been there, right, where you've hated someone or another content creator. But when you act this way, when you're at the point of, like, alleging you have, like, powerful people in places, this is sad. And you might need to step away. Might need to take a break, because this is like unhinged behavior, and that's coming from me. Anyways, so hopefully you found this interesting. Leave a like, leave a dislike, comment below, and again, that was all just an example and just for lols, so don't take any of that shit seriously. Or is it 6 million brothers? Ooh. In hoc signo vinces.